Jimmy and fucking Stiggs is finally fucking out. I think I've been waiting for this fucking movie for 2 fucking months now, and I guess it didn't disappoint as I thought it would. I'm gonna stop with the fucking bit really early. I tried doing this earlier and I couldn't do it. It's just too much. This movie has a lot of vulgar language and a lot of strobing lights. This movie is pretty fun. I think no one's gonna like this movie for pretty obvious reasons, and one of them is when I saw the trailer, I thought this was a House of a Thousand Corpses type vibe of movie, and I still kind of got that when I finished it. The strobing lights everywhere, like I mentioned earlier, the vulgar language, the I guess body horror. There was some in House of a Thousand Corpses, but um, in the editing, but it felt more like an Evil Dead movie, less than a House of a Thousand Corpses movie, which I kind of enjoyed. I didn't expect that from this movie, but it's basically the same thing as Evil Dead. Some guy is trapped in a house and he ends up chainsawing his arm off at some point in the movie. It was basically just a raunchy version of Evil Dead, which is fine. I think this movie did a good job at, I guess, if it wanted to do that, doing that. Joe Bagos and Matt Mercer are pretty funny in this movie. Obviously, I think I'm. Did I mention it earlier? They say fuck almost every 3 words in this movie, and it gets kind of annoying. But the vibe they're going for is these two like druggies, and they're in their apartment, and they're definitely high, and aliens are chasing them and everything. But it's just so annoying. Pretty sure a lot of people in my theater left because of that alone. I think I had 7 people in my theater. I was the only one left when the movie finished, which is unfortunate because the movie's actually fun as it goes on. Should the movie has have been as long as it was? God no. You kind of get bored towards the end of it. There's just a huge middle section where you just don't want to be there anymore. But I don't know. The beginning with the fake trailers is nice, and um, the ending with the chainsaw is cool, and a lot of the practical effects are really cool in this movie. There was the towards the end where Matt Mercer's character's head splits open, or was it? I'm mixing it up. I think it was Matt Mercer's character, and his head splits open. There's like a giant snail alien coming out of his head. It looked fucking sick. It looked really cool. Um, a lot of the practical effects in this movie look really good. I think the scene where Joe Bagos, Jimmy is cutting his arm off and his leg, it just all looks good. And the puppetry with aliens looks really solid too. Um, and one of my favorite things about this movie is definitely the blood. It's not real blood. It's more like the stuff inside those glow sticks you would crack at, like raves and parties and stuff. And it's cool seeing like spew everywhere and the walls light up, and Jimmy and Stiggs use their blood as like face paint and body paint and stuff. So like throughout the movie, their whole body's lighting up, which is kind of fun because this movie has so much color and light in it, which is unfortunate because there is a 2 minute scene I want to say where the screen is just black, and it's not. It's actually kind of annoying, because the whole movie's just so colorful and bright, and you'd think when they do this lights off scene, they would make it so the shotgun blast happen more, or there's like a little bit light flickering, but instead it's just a whole black screen for like 2 minutes, and then a single shotgun blast, and that's it. I wish that scene could have been different. The dialogue, I guess, could have been different. This movie isn't for old people. It, I mean, it's just like how I thought of House of a Thousand Corpses. These movies aren't meant for like an older audience or even a younger one. This is more meant for like '90s kids, I guess. I'm not a '90s kid, but that's just the vibe it is. This movie's fine. Uh, I just wish it was way shorter than it actually was. Almost 2 hours for nothing to happen for like a good segment of it is kind of a shame. If this movie was an hour 20, probably would have been brilliant. I probably would have given it a much higher rating, but I guess we can get to that now. Yeah, and with that, I'm just gonna give Jimmy and Sticks a nice 6 out of 10. I think it's a fun movie. It's a bit too long. Practical effects are really nice. The dialogue is kind of annoying as the movie goes on, but Joe Bagos does a fine job. I'm gonna have to check out the rest of his filmography maybe tonight, maybe or not all of it, obviously tonight, but like throughout the week. I think he does a fine job. Could he be more? I'm not sure. I guess if he wants, he could be the next Rob Zombie. I mean, I don't know the vibe of his older movies. So if it's something similar, maybe he could be the next Rob Zombie. Maybe he can make the new Halloween series if that ever comes to fruition. But that I don't know. Joe Bagos is fine. This was a good movie. It was fine. Most people won't like it. I don't recommend checking it out if you don't like flashing lights throughout movies and vulgar language throughout every single second of this movie or of movies. But yeah, that's Jimmy and Stiggs, and this movie's just okay.